everybody.
Hi everybody.
Parshat Vayishlach. In this parsha, Yaakov is sending angels to Esav. We have Yaakov fighting an angel. Yaakov is meeting Esav. We have also the rape of Dinah, the daughter of Yaakov. We have the birth of Binyamin, the death of Rachel, the death of Yitzchak, the father of Yaakov, and Esav at the age of 180. And we have the dynasty of Esav. Now the parsha starts with this sentence. Vayishlach Yaakov malachim lefanav el Esav achiv, arza seir sede Edom. Yaakov sends angels to Esav his brother, to the land of Seir, to a place called Sde Edom.
So from the beginning, the word Vayishlach already contains a consciousness that the purpose of it is to help us to release, to let go of anything or of someone that is negative in our lives that we want to just let go, or we need to let go, because it's not taking us to a positive place. It's actually dragging us down to inside negativity. So just by this first word, we can all sit down and kind of think with ourselves about anything negative that we feel is holding us back in our lives, and we want to let go of it, or a person that does it for us, and just to let go during this Torah reading.
So Yaakov is sending angels to Esav, and he tells the angels to tell Esav that his servant Yaakov lived with Lavan for a long time, and now he's back. Yaakov, the purpose for Yaakov saying about himself that he's a servant is that he's lowering his ego in order to get peace. Now, the angels are coming back from Esav, and they tell Yaakov that Esav is getting ready for war. He has 400 men with swords, armed to the bone, ready to come and hurt him. Now, these are not people. These are angels of destruction. Now, we need to remember that Esav was a very strong person spiritually, for the bad side, but very, very strong. And Yaakov is getting ready for war. After he understands the intentions of Esav, he takes all his people, all his family, and he splits them to two camps. Now the reason that he does that, because he knows that if Esav will hurt one part, then the other part can run away. And he starts praying. Now I want to ask you two questions. Why is Yaakov getting ready to war? And he splits the camp to two. And why is Yaakov praying to God and asking him to save him? What, Yaakov, God forbid, is not believing in God? Now we have two answers for that. The first one is that God is always with us, regardless. But we need to put our efforts in everything that we do. Now for the second one, I want to read to you from the Zohar in Parshat Vayishlach. בואו ראה, יעקב, תפילתו הגנה עליו מפני עשיו. Come and see, Yaakov, his prayer defended him against Esav, ולא זכותו, and not his right, משום שרצה להניח את זכותו לבניו אחריו, ולא להוציאו לצורך עצמו עתה מפני עשיו. So he wanted that his right will stand for his sons, and not for him, for his protection right now. ועל כן התפלל תפילתו לקדוש ברוך הוא, and therefore he prayed to God, ולא סמך על זכותו שינצל בשבילה. So he didn't count on his right to be saved for. And you can see it in the prayer. It says, ויאמר יעקב אלוהי אבי אברהם ואלוהי אבי יצחק. So Yaakov is saying, God, the God of my father Abraham, the God of my father Yitzchak, האומר אלי שוב לארצך ולמולדתך ואטיבה עמך. The God that said to me to come back to my country, to my land, and I will do everything good to you. And now there is a part that every time we're in danger, we can say it. And I'm going to read it to you. קטונתי מכל החסדים ומכל האמת אשר עשית את עבדך, כי במקלי עברתי את הירדן הזה, ועתה הייתי לשני מחנות, הצילני נא. This prayer is a prayer you can say every time you feel in danger. Yaakov sends his gifts to Esav, and he brings all his family, all his cattle across Yabok Brook. Now don't forget again that Esav was very, very powerful in impurity, very powerful. And Yaakov stays alone. And Esav is sending his angel to fight Yaakov. Yaakov struggles with the angel all night. And right before sunrise, the angel of Esav is hurting Yaakov in his sciatic nerve. But Yaakov is stronger than him. And he wants to go because the sun is coming up, and he's asking Yaakov that he wants to go. Yaakov tells him, now you have to bless me. And the angel blesses him. He says, your name is no longer going to be Yaakov, it's going to be Yisrael. And he also gives him other blessings. Now the name Israel elevates Yaakov to a higher level. Now the word Israel, the letter Yud, stands for Yaakov, Yitzchak. The letter Shin is for Sarah. The letter Reish is for Rachel and Rivka. The letter Aleph is for Avraham. The letter Lamed is for Leah. And underneath them we have all the 12 tribes, everything in one power. Everything is together. And he receives that from the angel. Now Yaakov is on his way to Esav, and something amazing is happening. Esav runs to him. When he gets to him, he kisses him.
So the word that it says in the Torah, Vayishlach, has very interesting signs above it. It has 6 dots above each letter, one for each letter. And we know that Esav actually wanted to kill him. So what's happening here? How come he runs to him and he actually kisses him and they both cry? So if you understand it by now, this whole parasha deals with hatred, but also with mercy and forgiveness. And even though Esav was so negative, Yaakov, he wanted to connect to the good in the world. He wanted to protect the good in the world. And he wanted to connect to the power of the light and the power of love. And because of that, when Yaakov came to meet Esav, he had nothing but love and light in him. And even though Esav hated him and was so upset with him and wanted to kill him, when he finally met him, Yaakov was so elevated, so beautiful, so pure, that for that moment, he managed to even bring light that was strong enough to purify for a little bit the heart of Esav. And when Esav kissed Yaakov, he really loved him with all his heart. What we're learning from here is also very powerful. That in life we have situations that we feel hate from others, or we feel that we hate someone else. We should never focus on the hatred, because hating someone or being hated by someone is a very negative power in our lives. And more than that, there's something called judgments, dinim. When we are judging and criticizing other people all the time, we draw judgments into our lives. And when a judgment is running after us, God forbid, it's very dangerous. But by understanding that, and yes, Esav hated him. Yes, it's no secret here. We see it. He wanted even to kill him. But if we just take our focus from the hatred and put it on the love, put it on the light, put in all the good things that Yaakov wanted to give the world and wanted to save, what his children after is giving the world, then we don't give all this power to hate and to negativity in our lives. And we can really save ourselves from that. So when we have a negative situation in our lives, try to go above, not to focus on the hatred, even if it's there, even if you feel that it's there. Try not to judge. Try to send love. Just say, okay, or maybe I can't love, but at least I won't hate. That's already a very good start. Just focus on the light instead of on the darkness. And we talked about it in our videos. In order to fight darkness, we just have to expand the light. Not to focus on the darkness. Expand the light. The dots above the word Vayishlach, and he kissed him, gives us extra power to do that.
Yaakov is getting out of the city of Shechem. On the way, Rachel is giving birth to Binyamin. She has a very hard delivery, and she passes away eventually. She's buried in Bethlehem.
So when we look at Rachel, it looks like she had very hard lives. She met her soulmate. She waited 7 years. And when she was about to marry him, he's been married to her sister. And then finally she marries him and she cannot conceive. And when she finally conceives, she passes away in the birth of her second son, Binyamin. And not only that, she's not buried with her husband, right? Yaakov later on has been buried in the Machpelah cave. And Rachel, just like Noam said, has been buried in Bethlehem in the middle of the road. So we always have to remember to learn the Torah and not to take it as a just, simple text. There's always codes and secrets behind it. Rachel is the mother that represents the power of mercy. She is the one that cries for Am Yisrael when they're in trouble. She is the one that is buried on the side of the road for a reason. When the Jewish people were exiled from Israel, they passed through her grave. And when Mashiach will come, the Messiah, to save all the Israelites, save Am Yisrael, he will pass through her grave. She's there for a reason. She's the one that bangs on the gates of heaven whenever the Israelites are in trouble. That's her strength. That's her beauty. And that's her job in this world. We wish you Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
All the best.
All the best.